may have actually been the first world in this room. Or this building. How do I leave? Oh, there's the door. There's the hub. And whatever's going on here. Maybe an awesome scene. Yeah, this is a little bit further or something. Lots of things I think this is just like okay, surprisingly not filled out at all, actually, for having this structure. It's very interesting. Although, I've tried to make a few mega bases, they never really work out. You really have to. The game really encourages building a bunch of smaller factories for performance and other reasons. Although, yeah, this really does appear to just be a single building that was a work in progress. And a lot of the ones I go through are going to be work in progress, because I tend to finish things in this game. But this one is very, this feels like, okay, down here is almost some kind of space or something. There may be more in the building though, I guess I didn't see much of it if it's this big. I don't even have a jetpack. I haven't even completed phase 2 either. It's in the upper right. It's really early game. That means I haven't done anything with plastics or oil. And the most advanced things I have are columns. No, I at least did that because that's what these pieces are made of. But can't be much past that. Is there any other way in at all? I'll just build my way in. I think I have some concrete on me. Ramps. Sure, why not? No jump. I have this save had 36 hours to see at the start. These massive rooms. This is so much. It's really nothing. Absolutely nothing. These massive volumes. What's happening up there? Oh my god. Alright, this. I didn't know what those factory buildings were, because apparently they're the only actual buildings they're the only actual machines in this building. Which is awesome. None of them are powered. It's definitely some What's going on over here? What's going on? What is this? Yeah, this is a really old sim. I do remember this thing. I think this is from one of those mega bases that never really got past the playing with this. One base or another, usually. I mean, part of the problem is I'm trying to solve these two. Obviously, not having access to anything with plastic or rubber is going to make building stuff a lot harder. Case in point, don't have a jetpack. So, not even really sure why you would do this. This is definitely kind of a weird thing to end up with. Don't actually think. Let's look at the map. Actually, wait a minute. No, the space elevator is somewhere else. So let's head over there. Let's go over to where the space elevator is, because produces factory that wasn't just that and moved on? Is that a lookout up there? What is this? This thing is so huge. What was I thinking? I must have had some sort of plan, otherwise that's just excessive. Also, something I've learned in this game is that you never... Okay, yeah, this is... Something important I've learned is that you never build structures without knowing what's going to go in them. And actually, even better is to build an empty floor with the factory buildings you want, and then try to build a shell room. And yeah, for forever, I was doing it the exact other way around. Which leads to stuff like that, where you have rooms that are either too big, a little too big, or a little too small, because obviously they're not going to be the right size, which means you have awkward extra space, or starting to cram stuff and clip stuff, and it's just weird. What is up here? Okay, a lot of this first tour is going to be pretty slow, because I don't have a jetpack or any real ability aside from the boat runners. It should speed up a lot. What is up here? Now, this has not been loaded for a very long time, so the game has been updated since. There's even a crate over there. What's in the crate? Alright. What's in the building? Well, nothing's in this. What does this monstrosity look like? Oh my god. Oh, he was going to be taller too. Wow. Yeah, the space elevator. What is happening? There's no... It's so full of nothing. Alright. Let's go to the space elevator. I don't know if there'll be anything over there. Actually, now that I think about it, there has to at least be some power infrastructure, because I don't have any generators near this part over here. Alright. Is that audio... Is that audio maybe a little better? I had some mic issues. I had to mess with the gain a little bit because it was maxing out in the red. Maybe I was a little too aggressive with it though. Yeah, just growing pains of this. My first time streaming anything, and I haven't recorded anything in about 2 years, so I'm definitely out of practice. And everything has become repurposing different things at this point, so all the settings are messed up. Now let's move on to the space elevator. I don't know what would be over there. This seems like this save is not very interesting, ultimately. If there's nothing over there, I'll just move on, because, like I said, a whole lot of nothing. Oh, there's this part underneath here. What is this about? What? I don't know. I saw a pillar, so I'm actually looked at that. Hang on. Yeah, okay, that should be better. It's a bit far away. I actually do like building factories around this lake because it's a convenient place to process oil from the the Spire Coast, which on the map is just down here. There's a lot of oil, and if you bring it up to this lake, there are a lot of resources like iron and coal that... Well, actually that's not true. There's not coal, but there is copper. And copper and iron along with oil are pretty much all you need for tiers 5 and 6. Specifically, I don't think it combines any steel and oil. So yeah, that spot is a really good place for setting up oil production for basic oil products. Just that I didn't seem to be doing any of that there, obviously because I haven't even unlocked that yet. Because I decided to start building a gigantic building before I really had the means to do so effectively. Alright, so what's over here? I'm guessing it's just the space elevator and some generators, but there may actually be a better starting point over here. Okay, there's some other stuff. I definitely see the generators. Maybe? Oh wait, I can't remember the save now, actually. I think this is the one time where I actually decided to start building from this spot. Yeah, and all the enemies respawn because, again, I've been opened this in years. Pretty loud. Alright. Yeah, this just basic parts factory. Not too interesting. Very messy spaghetti factory. I think all the power slugs and things respawn as well, which is kind of a funny bug, I guess. There really doesn't seem much more to this. Is there anywhere else on the map we haven't really done? No. Factory yard. Weird. Okay. Well, that seems like it for this save. Looks like what happened ultimately is I rushed to start our factory here, build a bunch of coal plants, and then started building a mega factory way off there by the lake, and didn't really get very far in progression or that factory. So let's go back to main menu and look at the next save. Not in game. The layout here is weird. Alright. Jojo Monkey. Great name. Yep. Okay. 85 hours. Let's see what this one looks like. This should be more interesting. Once we get into the 100-hour range, or near 100 hours, is when there starts being some actual progression. Okay. Oh my goodness, this... I know this save. I remember this save well, actually. This is still to date the largest oil plant I've ever made in Satisfactory. And the largest fuel power plant. For that matter. Oh, and I have a jetpack. Solid biofuel. Interesting choice. Alright, yeah. So let me start from the bottom here, actually. It's, that's better. It's so huge. I think... I don't remember the numbers. I just remember, you know, the factory itself. But I believe it's consuming around 1,200 cubic meters of oil per minute, or that would be 20 per second. Pressed oil. Did I do like making company names often. Ooh, that is a... That's a terrifying power curve. Power graph. That means things are turning off and on because supply isn't really being met. Although it might still be starting up. I remember this thing not really starting up pretty much ever fully. So yeah. Looks like this is where the plastic and rubber show up. A lot of those. It's very full. Where do you actually get in though? I forget. I think it's over here. I think it was a hypertube thing. Breaker. What does this say? Main power. I guess it's this entire oil rig. It's basically the only factory on this world, if my memory serves correctly. So let's check. Alright, so it puts you underneath like this, and then, oh, there's a ladder. Right up into... Oh, that's right, the control room. I sometimes leave notes for myself like this, but they're not clear because I mean, it's a sign. You can give it text. Well, not with this layout, but you can give signs text in this game. And it would help coming back to things and remembering what they do, but nope, I just decided to make weird, cute acronyms. And, yeah, those are very useful. What is RA? Refinery Batch Fort? I have no idea. I do not know. I cannot read minds. Because that's what it required to understand what I was thinking back then. Okay, I think this floor is pretty empty. Let's just go up. Here? This is the factory floor, so can I turn on? Oh, that's right. Yep. Flashlight. Restart. And then catwalks. New jetpack, I keep forgetting. Yeah, a lot of refineries. I think there are more than 100, maybe, or about 100, something like that. Anyway, this bridge, I was really actually, I was originally going to have it all contained here, and actually, it's not done. No, you saw when I looked down there, things were not all connected. It's not really finished, but the part that is finished already took up more room than I thought, so that's why this exists. And this is just the power generation. It doesn't never move. It's very loud. Because that's but yeah, this bridge contains the fuel pipes, and this one doesn't have any. That might be... No, I think that's normal. I think those were going to be the ones that were going to the upper layer. There. Yeah. So that's that. Although, I must have other factories in this world. That's pretty much a tour of that one, just from big open spaces. Looks really cool from a distance. We do have this train station with a random extra train. I think it's a personal train. I've pretty much never automated trains any meaningful way in this game, oddly enough. Even though I have actually finished it, I still use the trains. Now it's going through trees now because it's updated. But, that thing goes off in the distance. It was imposing. I remember I built this right actually around when they changed the Spire Coast from being a barren wasteland to actually pretty nice. I don't remember where this train goes. So that'll be interesting. I feel like I remember having a spaghetti factory in the Northern Forest somewhere here. Was it another train line? There's probably nothing on here, though. I see more trains over there on the compass. Oh, this world. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, still we keep buying this line. So, okay, this was, I think, just pure iron stuff, very small scale. Yeah, pure iron ingot, not even connected to water. So, I think work in progress. We're being generous for this. This is just nowhere close to it. Oh, this is backed up. That's pretty inefficient. I should at least be splitting it off and putting it in the awesome sink so I can get the hits. Is that it? That's here though. I think maybe it is. Whoa. Look at the map though. Is there anything else? else, maybe? Maybe over here? There is a train. And a train station. There was that new marker. Okay, that's oil. I don't know why I marked that on the map. I think... Yeah, it's just another early game spaghetti factory, not making anything too interesting, I don't think. Let's go... Where is the train station? I got lost. It's all the way over there. Let's go to that one last site. I think that's maybe the last interesting site on this particular save. Although, I mean, I don't know when, but somewhere coming up is actually the save I beat the game on. And this game is shockingly difficult to actually. Also, don't mind all the clipping. Clearly, this train track was not created as aesthetics in mind. I'm going to turn left here now. Also, you can let me know in chat. I think I have that working. Maybe. Yeah, let me know for anyone who's watching if the audio is fine. Chat, I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm not too surprised it was urgent. Oh yeah, looks like I started to build some actual road here. I didn't connect anything outlets or anything yet, but... Oh, that's right. Yeah, this was the electronics factory I started talking about. Building... kind of turned out squattier than I was imagining. So it's not very cool. Kind of just looks silly. This is a fancy... Okay, I failed and it's a huge section. Let's just leave the train. Ooh, that's kind of a... I guess it works. I remember this being unclear, actually. Well, that's not the right kind. That's fine though. Solstice Electronics. Yeah, that's not connected. Don't really know what's going on there. Or with this stuff. Alright, sure. What's down here? Is this just, yeah, more train station. It's just suspended up there. I don't think these buildings are very walkable, if I remember right. Yeah, not even connected. I do this a lot where I don't end up connecting all the buildings. Or I'll keep calling them buildings. I guess they're machines more technically. This one was more walkable. This was part of the old railway that I... What? Why are those things in there? Whatever. I think I was just using these as storage containers. Never dismantled them. What's up here? Ooh, yeah. I think maybe I was about to set up train deliveries of oil products from the oil rig back there because you can't really make electronics in this game without oil products very easily. Unless you do a bunch of alternate recipe stuff, which is just... And I think the alternate recipes for non-oil electronics are just a huge pain in the butt, even though I think it's possible to beat the game. Maybe? Without really automating oil? What is... This door is poorly placed. Yeah, okay. What's about this world? Blueprint maker... I don't think there's anything else really worth showing off here. I think it is interesting, though. One thing is that this save is also old enough that artifacts simply weren't worth collecting because they had no use. So something like that would be extremely valuable in any game now. But yeah, back then there was just no reason to go for them, so I just left them. Oh, okay. Also, the pipe connections are on the bottom. See, on top those look like pipe connections, but those are actually hyper tubes. You can tell because of the lights on them like that. I thought maybe I didn't include pipes, which would be kind of silly if I did include something like hyper tubes, which I pretty much never use in this game. Now they're there. And this highway does continue, but it doesn't go anywhere. I do remember that. I do remember it continuing off the Spider Coast, where I was talking about, or not the Spider Coast, sorry, the oil coast down here. It looks like I've explored some of that. I don't think there's a factory down there though. So that's that save. Looks like phase 3 is the next one up there, which, I mean, that's a fine place to get to, I guess, but it's still not very far. It's still kind of fresh into oil, and tier 8, 7 and 8 deal with things like aluminum, which become a lot more complicated, oddly enough. So let's load the next one. Heavy Putis. Yes, I believe this one was actually my first save. 47 hours? No, it couldn't have been. Maybe it was Root Skipper. Okay, it was Root Skipper was my first one. We'll get there. Although I think this one was with. Do they all have the warning like that? No, I think that was with Moss. Another one too short. Iron only. Okay, that was interesting. I tried to do a challenge where the only automation I was allowed to do was placing miners on iron nodes. It is possible. It's just a terrible grind that I don't feel like putting myself through. Corporate shenanigans, I think that's supposed to say, and yeah, it's got 6 minutes on it. 1.0, yay. Okay, this is the save I think I beat it on. I have almost 200 hours in it. This one should be pretty interesting. I remember if it is the 1.0 save where I beat the game, then there's actually a lot. These are the ones we've looked at have had maybe, 2 or 3, I guess, bases of operation. If it's what I'm thinking of, oh boy, that's a lot of radiation. It's the one I'm thinking of, okay. Golden coffee cup though. Hard to see in the sliding, I'll show it off later. Needless to say, this is a nuclear power plant. And in Satisfactory, when nuclear fuel backs up like this, because of the production, because I, like a silly Billy, designed a nuclear power plant with the manifold production, which basically means each previous reactor needs to fill up with fuel in the conveyor belt before the last 2 are running at peak efficiency. And, yeah, that basically just means this entire area is heavily irradiated, because there's no actual radiation shielding in this game. Parking station. I guess it's over. Ooh, weird. Okay. Third here. Is this a pumping station? Oh, it is. Wow. Oh, this nuclear power plant. Okay, this is actually the one in the thumbnail of the stream. Okay, I'll show you. Yep. Oh, that screenshot was taken before the graphics overhaul. Oh boy, we're using rocket fuel too. Yeah, nice. And this was actually the first time I did anything with nuclear fuel in Satisfactory. Fun fact. So yeah, I didn't actually get into tier 7 and 8 really until the game fully released, even though I had already been playing for several years by that point. And here, what are these? These are... What am I supposed to do with this? Okay. Well, anyway. what's the deal with transportation around here? Do I actually have any, or is this all jetpack based? No, I think this is just an isolated building. Definitely one of the better ones, though. Ooh, the map should be a little more too. You could say that. The resources are showing here because I have these radar towers. Oh, they tell you what's around them once you get them. I wasn't actually using them for the longest time, but they're pretty useful, even if you know where all the resource nodes are, because obviously there are online tools for that. It actually helps a lot with the artifacts thing. It lets you know if in that particular radius there are any more, and if you really care to, you can actually try and do it somewhat. So, okay, that's the nuclear power plant. I see a pipe here. What's this going to? I think there's something down here. Oh, that goes to the plant. Okay, I think this is one. Silver oil pipes. Yeah, this was when they added chrome to the paints. I believe. Oh, there's so many beacons on the compass, though. Oh my god. Okay. I think I'll just make a loop of the map because I think everything I have is pretty spread out. I mean, there's a radar tower. So, where exactly are we? Okay, we're heading along the top right now. This is a miner. Going to where? There's something down there. What is that? It's not too interesting. I think that's just a small oil production thing. Yeah, I didn't even bother making a cool shell for it or anything. You don't even have to look at that. And then over here. Oh yeah, wait, I think this is my awesome single farm. I was, well, I guess now it's sending things elsewhere. That noise? Whatever. Anyway, yeah, I was just quartz is actually really good for getting points for tickets early on because it's immediately available because it's a raw resource, and through the name you can research crafting recipes that give you a ton of points for how early you get it. Whoa, there's the loading glitch. Here's. Yeah, okay. I haven't put any nice shells around these, although I did try to organize them slightly. That's a lot of crystal oscillators. Okay. I think most of these are overflowing at this point. What are these? This is smart. I think this was making automated wiring, among other things. Pipe, stators, motors. Yeah, this seems like the kind of the steel factory, I guess. Oh, I heard an advanced machine. What was it? Oh, it must have been something with the summer sleeps. I guess those noises. I forgot. Alright, that's about it for this. I do like the Northern Forest as the starting location because it has an insanely high concentration of pure iron nodes, which is just so good early on. Okay, here's a big board of automation, I guess. This is not terribly useful. Right, and then the space elevator. I was using this manufacturer to actually kind of, I guess, quote-unquote, handcraft some of this stuff by just feeding it the parts that I was automating instead of trying to make a whole new factory just for these. And then, what was this one? Assembly director system. Yeah, okay, where else on the map might be interesting? Okay, definitely Dune Desert, actually. I always build big stuff there whenever I get to a fairly late stage in the game. So let's go there. That's just a little northeast from here. In fact, from the northern forest like this, we should be able to... Okay. I didn't realize it was this safe. Okay, those are some of the coolest buildings I've made. There's just 2 of them. I was gonna build more, but I didn't really need the space. This is the only time where I kind of designed things to be realistic before I made them, you know, gigantic. Just ignore spiders, I guess. Yeah. Okay, we're loading or crashing. Yeah, we're crashing. Nope. Guess not. Somehow. Also, the colors of the desert just make giant buildings like that with all the glass look so cool. I was gonna try to make it a cyberpunk thing. I'm not sure how well that worked, especially because the scale is pretty small. Oh yeah, I was building a little more back there, but it's unused Caterium. Actually, no, I think this was the case again where I started building it and I got pretty far through the machine placement and I just didn't finish it. Yeah, this was gonna be a cyberpunk city. Crystal City. Yes. I'm not sure that's how it was originally, but maybe. Unset signs. It has roads though. This is sort of the unfinished part. Just gonna put trains there. What were these making though? I'm kind of curious. Normally I don't color the machines. Oil processing. Mark 6 conveyor belt slow. Nice. Alright. Oh yeah, wait, no, this building over here actually does have I guess you could say finished interior. I was gonna try to use trucks, but the way I designed it, trucks don't really work. So there's this sort of, okay, probably just saw the tail. There's this one, okay, truck of shame, I guess, that its only purpose is to drive around and make it look a little less dead. I think it does actually go collect stuff, but it's right there. I could have just run a conveyor belt over it instead of using a truck. Yeah, apparently I have not really played since 1.2. Apparently they fixed the vehicle pathing a little bit. That's one thing I was having trouble with. They always get stuck on things. Oh, there's another truck. Do I have? You can see them on the map, do I? Okay, I actually have a couple. That's right. Still don't do a great job of making it look more alive. Oh yeah. Pipes. Okay, this is actually pretty cool. I forgot I did that. Yeah, these just sideways. I'm not sure. Maybe they were supposed to be that way. For variety. Okay. Advertisements. Which are difficult to create in a large quantity and actually make them fun. What's in this building? I think this one was less finished generally. Yeah. Although, I think did it have any machines in it? Guess not. There was this bridge though, 'cause I remember. Oh, blue light. Oh yeah. Semi-neat conveyor belts that clip heavily. You'll love to see it. Alright. I think that's actually about it for this building. It has blue lights, so that's cool, I guess. Is iron. Okay, it's making steel. I could probably reverse engineer what this was supposed to be, but I really don't remember. In fact, I remember even taking a break for about a month on this, going back to it, and just having no idea where to start it. It's just too far gone. Oh, but no, some of the surroundings are cool. This building is literally useless. I think it has a breaker in it or something. And yeah, I may have built something at the swamp as well, or started to. So I guess that's where we'll go next. Yeah, adding detail to large flat surfaces is harder than it looks. But yeah, I certainly did not finish that side. This is the Savannah, which is probably my favorite sub-region in the game. But I'm not often over here. There isn't a lot of reason to be over here when you're playing, because the Savannah itself doesn't have a lot of resource richness, and no one really wants to be in the swamp. Okay, I don't see any buildings there, but I still have to go through it. Okay, here it goes. The swamp is the most dangerous biome this game has to offer. Oh, this is part of the reason why? No, you're not. Oh yeah, wait, I like this. This is a glitched pool. Okay, a couple funny things. One, these are solid ground apparently, even though they're water. And they're actually supposed to be geysers, so that's not, you can't even argue that these are frozen water. They're just not. And also, see this waterfall? And notice anything interesting here? You can maybe hear that there's water. It's supposed to be, but it's invisible. Same with the pool up here. The water's just invisible. I'm not really sure why, because the swamp does have water, and the game seems to do fine with water elsewhere, but just not right there. Okay, that's why this biome is so dangerous. Radioactive giant. Oh, why are you not attacking? Did I turn off? Did I turn off attacking? Baby. No, I guess that was fun. Alright. Yeah, I don't think I built anything here on this save. I think there are only two. I actually built anything in the swamp there at all. Because typically I won't come here until, you know, end game anyway. Not because of the danger, but just because there's no real reason to until later. For example, if you're trying to get oil stuff, the coast I've mentioned a few times, and, the Spire coast up north are actually the best places to get oil. And then for iron, probably Northern Forest, copper, Dune Deserts, or not even Dune Desert, Rocky Desert's pretty good for it, but it can kind of just be found everywhere. It doesn't really have a biome. Coal's the same deal. It can kind of just be found everywhere. So yeah, really. Oh yeah, here's one of the only nitrogen deposits, which is needed for some of the later game recipes, like the fused modular frame and the things crafted with those. There are, I think, only 3 of those on the map. Did not get a sprint jump. It's fine. I know there's something in the I keep freaking out. I think it's just grassy plains. I think there's something in there that I have. Even though I don't usually have that as my starting biome anymore, it usually ends up with something built in it. Oh man. Yeah, there's a YouTuber called I'm Kids who built a gigantic turbo fuel factory in this biome. There's large enough that it filled basically the entire bottom part right there. And that guy basically does optimizations for every resource on the map. You've definitely seen those like this that I'm just not using. Despite having beaten the game on this save, there's not a single unused node on the save. It's insane. And I think this is actually, yep, this is an aluminum planet with drones. There's one landing right now. This one is computers. This one is crystal insulators. this one, you can maybe see on the map. That's the train. Where's the train going? Is there? Oh, there's the train station. Interesting. Maybe this last one isn't even used. Now heat sinks. Oh, it's exporting these things. I see. So, yeah, okay. Wherever it's exporting to, it's probably. I do believe I have some infrastructure. It's just a train station. Where does it connect? I can't see rail lines specifically. I guess we can check that out. It's pretty close. There is a train. They used to just clip through all the terrain, but they tend to avoid that now. Yeah, so this next factory, if there's a factory where I'm thinking where that train station is in the bamboo jungle right up here in the center of the map. And unlike a lot of games where the center of the map is easier or less harmful or friendlier or what have you, this center is about on par with the swamp. I feel like it's easier. It feels easier at least, but yeah, it's pretty mean. It does have all the same enemies. But it also has enemy areas, which for some reason the developer insists on calling also a little more bauxite, even if they're just going to slap a basic iron or copper ore on everything else, which is kind of funny. Yeah, so it's getting rid of extra silica. That's making scrap. These are making, I think, instant units. And I believe this train probably, that's oil. That's gold. Those are electrons. So are those. What? So it's bringing stuff. That makes sense. Is it used to any of this oil? What is it connected to? Yeah, this is weird. I don't remember this. Wait, what's down here? No, okay. Wait, no, that's actually... It's actually pumping oil up. This is, these don't even have a recipe. Well, that one does. That one doesn't have a recipe set. I don't think that's on purpose. Maybe. I don't know. That factory wasn't very spectacular, but I think I probably have one more. That would be either. Oh, we saw that one actually. That's right. You know, actually, I may not. That may be a lie because I don't think I actually built anything else huge on this world. But it is the one. No, yeah, it must be the one I read it on. Because I don't see any. This is weird. I don't see any project assembly missions. I guess I can just look it up. Yes. Yeah, okay, it's done. I have finished it. So, where are all the really fancy machines? Because those would be fun to show off. They must be. No, wait, okay, I think they're. Yeah, okay, those particle accelerators, I think they're up here. Some of them at least. The Crater Lakes biome. Sort of a sub area, but very cool. So yeah, it's moving. Okay. So where does this go? Just over here. Yes, I think these are making something. Yes. Okay. Diamonds and... Alright, yeah, these are tier 9 things. So let's see what. Oh yeah. Okay. Yep. Here it is. Here's the thing I was thinking of. So quantum encoder. I was making the neural quantum processors out of what? Well, obviously what they're made of. But okay, I think this was sort of a manual factory. I think nothing here really works automatically, and it's kind of just you change things until you like what you have. Moving around conveyor belts. Singularity cells need nuclear pasta. Oh boy. Yeah, some of these recipes are pretty evil. It's over there. Sometimes you can see it in the corner of your screen. It's not really loading in the one. I will go check it out real quick. Oh wait. Okay, one thing I didn't finish off. I see. And I'm pretty sure there's no grassy plains actually on this save. I'm pretty sure I specifically avoided that. That was a bad shot. This. I think it used to be a power plant. And now I only kept the batteries. Yep. Why was it white? Guess I could use that. Yeah, they're building up on here. This is where I was making heavy modular frames, which are notorious because you need so many, and they're very complicated to make. They just need a lot of things, and the machines that make them are very slow. For a rough example of the numbers that you're dealing with here, the manufacturer that produces them, I think produces, depending on the recipe, between 2 and 3 per minute at only 100% clock speed. And if you actually, I think a good number to have if you want all of your needs satisfied for the whole game pretty handily would be closer to 30 to 60 per minute. So yeah, that's already 10 or 20. And yeah, I didn't even put a shell around all this because I didn't think about it. But what are these refineries doing? They just, okay, pure iron. Pretty basic. Yeah, just built it up on the cliff. That's a really ugly set of ramps. Not sure why those are there. Cool in a way. I mean, I meant to build some of this out a little more to make it look better, but alright. You know what? I think that's actually it for this. And it didn't have some of the cool buildings I did remember. Surprisingly. So, what I'm going to do is, I think, move on from this one. Load. We had this one. This one I had Gansaham. Basically just keyboard gore, but I think there's probably some cool stuff in here. Sometimes I spent more time on aesthetics. I had, a couple factories in the last one, but you could probably assemble an entire world of good-looking factories. Okay, phase 3, right? That's a good sign, definitely. Oh, this world. Yeah. So this was one of my earlier ones. No jetpack or anything yet. And I think this building's okay. This was better planned than some of my other stuff. Conveyor belts running through the ground. But I actually did sort of plan out numbers here and space better than I normally do. So it's more intentional than I would expect it to be. What is this on? I have to grab the line. That's sketchy. Yep, layer 2. All just for modular frames. Not the heavy ones, but the modular frames are the most expensive part of the heavy ones anyway, so I guess it works out. Wow, okay. Oh, don't jump down there. I have the jelly pad, which I've never really used before. And, yeah, that's why. It's useless. Just don't take fall damage. Just keep going, you know. Alright. I think this is actually the only building in this world. Pretty much. Maybe something over this way, but I guess we can just check the map. Oh, I did venture up there. Maybe it's worth a look. The map would only show things that would appear on the compass, which are, you know, vehicles and radio towers and markers that you place specifically, so having none of those there doesn't necessarily mean there's nothing, as we kind of find out in the last world. But I don't think there would be. Although I did unlock. Wait, complete phase 3. Okay, so that does mean oil stuff is available. That's a coal power plant. That's one of the best spots for a coal power plant too, because the forest area back there has a ridiculous amount, and there's water right there, which is the only other thing you need for coal power. So, kind of works out. Did not mean to jump there. Oh well. Didn't take fall damage. Oh well. Oh. Yeah, I think all the did everything reset? Because I would have gotten this hard. This is one I always grab. So if there's a hard drive in here, I think everything reset. Okay, not quite. Okay, we have a Mercer story. And this is definitely, you know, before 1.0, so I really haven't played much since 1.0. I think the 1.0 save was one of the last ones I've really spent any significant amount of time on, chronologically. Why is the power going down here? Guess there's something. Oh, just to run it out through the coast again? Okay. There's nothing. Oh, there's a platform built out there. What is that? Wait, what? Wait, was I trying to build another oil rig? It may have been. Oh yeah, it might have been. Although it's hard to tell. What is that? I feel like I see. Okay, those are just machines in the foreground. There are refineries, and then there's whatever that is. That was. It's just tower. It's just. It's tower. Oh. What? Okay. It's fine. It's actually just a tower. What is this? What's the point? Okay. That was great. Sure you love breaking my knees. Alright. What's on nothing. What's around here? That is an oil pump that is connected to absolutely nothing. That's useless, and so is that. I don't understand what's happening with that one, but okay, sure. Oh boy. That was good. I like that. Oh well. Looks like I was about to start building some oil factory, which would be needed. Am I gonna have to do that? No. All damage in this game can be kinda whack. Let's check out the rocky part up here. There's power. Okay, so there's stuff up here, because the power line goes past the oil, which is unusual. What could be up here? I don't think... There's a one save where I have a pretty cute oil factory. I don't think it's this one. anything. Which you would normally be able to if I did have something built on the lake. By now you'd be able to see it. Yeah, not lake. Guess not. We're still going. Where does this lead? Does this go all the way up to the coal patch? Because there's one between this and the northern forest way up. That would be crazy if so. But yeah, this is something I could see myself doing. Get the speed boost from, you know, jumping at the right moment after landing in a crouch like this, so the slide jumping. But if you mess it up, it just kills every single bit of your speed. Let's see. Yeah, okay, it's kind of going there. It might actually go all the way to the other gold deposits. So yeah, you remember how far away that other coal deposit was, right? Yeah, this is wait, no. Okay, maybe I was wrong. This seems to be okay. This is a work in progress factory of some kind. What's steel? Maybe. I don't know what this was supposed to be, and honestly, apart from that one modular frame factory, the save is pretty lame. It's 50 hours or something on it too. That is kind of a lot for, yeah, that is a lot for not a lot. Alright, what's next? We did that. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Oh wait, no, save 2 might, no, save 2 is my first one. I was lying. Route Skipper's I think the first one I actually made decent progress on. Save 2 is, I think, my first save. Let's see, yeah, 2021. Oh, okay, so it's not quite. Right, I had some other saves before this, but I think I ended up deleting them. This is the first one I actually kept. I've not loaded this thing in a bit. It did load though. That's nice. Okay. What's the map like on this one? Main base? Why is it a warning sign? Is that, should I be concerned? Cyberwag. Oh my god. Oh my god, I remember this save. Okay. Okay. Alright. So let's follow this back to the grassy plains, because there, if I'm remembering it, if I'm remembering the magnitude of the, I don't know, awfulness correctly. Oh my, I'm about to die from this. Okay. Guess not. I did it again. I didn't learn. Yeah, no slide jumping up a mountain, I guess. But if I'm remembering the magnitude of the problem correctly, then it's the biggest spaghetti mess I've made on any of my saves. Perhaps. And this train is automated, so I might get hit by a train, but you know, it is what it is. Up there it is. Maybe I can slide jump over. Oh no, I can't slide jump. Well, spoiler alert, I guess, but unlike Factorio, trains cannot kill you if you get run over by a train. So I guess we're just going the old-fashioned way. Oh, all the tracks together. It's really weird. Your character clips into the tracks a lot. I guess they just have a flat hitbox on the bottom. And that That has always bothered me an unreasonable amount. I mean, I know it's not a big deal. I mean, the game has come a long way, but it's funny that this is still a problem. Alright, this is going away. I think this track diversion I didn't notice. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, this is part of it. This is part of the disaster. I know it's a disaster, I just don't know if it's the biggest disaster I've ever created. Yeah, okay, so that part's the better part. This is the less crammed part. Nothing's moving. Peak efficiency. Why is there... Did I actually pipe oil all the way down? I probably did. Yeah, down here. Uh-oh. Unless I dismantled something, I don't think so. You know, that's not as bad as I was remembering. I think maybe this is a difference. Hello? No, I was in the wrong spot. That's the problem. It's just expensive. There's just a lot of everything. So let's see what's this like. Oh, I cannot navigate anything. Yeah, okay, this isn't too interesting. Just spaghetti nonsense. Oh, the stairs construction. Stairs construction. I used to use these stairs all the time, but turns out just regular catwalk stairs make better stairs than the dedicated stairs buildable, which is kind of funny. Is this train even animated? Can I just Yep, okay. Oh yeah, this is a different track entirely, that's why it was in the wrong spot. If the trains do collide, it turns out they're not, then that wasn't fun. I think this is the personal rail line, because I always try to separate those. I believe this one will go to, oh, I think this is the next one. This is the next one. Maybe. Shall see. Definitely going along the way close to get. I don't see anything. Alright, just go straight past. Yeah, okay, so I didn't pipe oil all the way from back to the grassy fields rather than just put another factory away. I decided it would be a better idea. Oh, and then it might be oh, it's part of the this is where this is the safe. I spent time with the aesthetics of this. I wasn't aware of it because this was still the first 5 years ago. I definitely tried. Okay, coming up on it. Let's see. Yep, train garage. Hallways. With windows. Very weird aesthetic, but also this was before the customizer was as useful as it is now, so there weren't a lot of options. And okay, funnily enough, even though this is one of my oldest factories, I actually remember the specs of the plastic and rubber production, which were 400 per minute each. So yeah, not as crazy as I think it was the 2000 per minute each that the oil rig I showed off earlier was, but I'm definitely happier with the design. Okay, the design's getting support. Oh. But at least they do describe. We need to go. Oh, there wasn't a left and right there, so I'm not even sure how useful that is. think it's just an up, honestly. I think maybe I made that prematurely. What's with the colors? They're weird. I don't remember the colors being changed. Oh, I did have the weird blue front though. So yeah, if I head back down, because that was just factory building. I'm very interested. Gas pest. Oh yeah. Storage tanks, which for the most part are pretty useless in this game, because rather than a collection game where the goal is to have as many as loot as possible, that's not very useful. It's really the thing that determines your factory's effectiveness is throughput, which, you know, wasn't obvious to me as someone who pretty much only played survival type games, resource collection games, you know, basically stuff like Minecraft beforehand. So those games operate completely differently. So if your factory is producing, you know, for example, 400 plastic per minute, and you have, you know, a couple extra hundred in your inventory forever. When I started playing this game, every part of me screamed to just keep the plastic, even though it's not worth it at all. So I would just hang out with thousands of useless resources like screws that I was just never going to use, because you can't throw stuff away. In this game, you actually just need to get rid of stuff if you don't have an active use for it, because, but only if you're producing it, really. If you're not, then just hang on to it. But yeah, the point is to produce everything, so no reason to hoard stuff, you can just make more. This is the fuel part. It's kind of set up the way the oil rig was, and actually with the same recipes too, oddly enough. Diluted packaged fuel, which allows you to create rubber and plastic with a byproduct of fuel, which you can burn for auto energy. Again, excessive storage, but nice. Oh my god, no, I remember why they're here now. So, for some reason, okay, these pipes were not here when I built this, because for some reason, when I built this, I decided it was a good idea to have a train going from right over there, which is right there, to over here, and that would be more efficient than just running a pipeline. And this was actually long enough ago too that the fluid dynamics in the game were completely worked to begin with. So adding vehicle transport on top of that ruined everything. So my carefully calculated throughputs just completely collapsed under that. So yeah. Don't do that, I guess, but it kind of fixed it, so it is a little more open now. Let's see, what else is here though? Because this is kind of a, I do enjoy this factory quite a bit, even though it's very hodgepodge random looking. But what else is there? There is that, you know, weird warning sign main base thing. That was the train station in the weird desert area I spawned in. It's probably a coal power plant. That was the spaghetti area. Yeah, let's go to the Northern Forest. Shouldn't take too long. One thing I really would need to invest in these worlds more is decent transportation. In the later worlds, jetpacks kind of make it trivial. And, yeah, but before then, just this is your fast mode of transportation aside from trains if you have this set up. And trains are kind of annoying about to set up. Why is it a warning signal? I'm actually curious. I don't remember what I put in the Northern Forest here. I labeled it main base, even though it's not where I spawned, and it's not where all of the basic resources are being used, which would normally be your main base, which is what was in the grassy fields. Plains, I can't remember. So yeah. And that white box, I feel like it's just a train? Oh, right. It's just train. Okay. How? That's such a random bug. I don't even have power lines because if you have a train station, they actually carry power. So you don't need to run power lines, but it does mean I can't use the zip line. Not that I have one anyway, apparently. I guess that's what I mean by getting better at moving around the map too. Zip line is useful. Don't have it here. Something died. What's dying? Ah, spider. Alright, coming up on it. This is another one of my favorite building spots. So I built a lot in this particular clearing up here. Because I think it has 5 pure iron nodes, which is just insane. You can get more than 1,000 iron per minute out of that with the Mark II miners. Actually, I think even with the Mark I miners overclock, or just the regular Mark II miners, you can get 1,000 per minute. Alright, so this was not done, clearly. Weird, it does say overlapping. It's kind of cool. Oh, stairs. It's still not very long. Gap in the wall. I don't have a jetpack. I forgot. Okay, that's not anything. Now, did I have something else? Yeah, there was something in the Dune Desert. Okay. This, I think, is big. I feel like I remember this. And it was... I think... Okay, the one structure at the very start of this may have been larger square footage wise, but this one's definitely more complete and more ambitious overall, I think. It involves making a tower, although I don't think I got very far. If it's the one I'm thinking of, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah. Yep. Do I even have a gas mask? Oh, that's awkward. Oh, that's really awkward. Oh, where am I? Am I done? Okay, I guess. No. That was exciting. Yes, yes, imminent destruction. I've played this game before. Oh, pretty fast. Yeah, I should have just taken the train. Make it a little bit shorter. Yeah, more uncollected artifacts, because this is old. I think just through here. But you can kind of see in the distance just poking up there. It's going to be an absolutely massive tower. This game actually has kind of a crazy build height. I think it's more than 2 kilometers. Which doesn't sound terribly high. Until you realize that the map itself is only 2 by 2 kilometers to begin with. So, it's... The map is basically a cave in terms of where you can build. Yeah, starting to build a tower, it was going to be a lot of fun, but it's pretty fat. Still more complete than the other thing, though. At least there are some factory buildings in here, and actually they do produce some things. Oh. That's painful. This isn't even the main rail line. Oh wait, this is the one... Yeah, this is the personal rail line that I built before most of this was even constructed. And it actually, hang on, get off. It goes through the ground. Yeah, so, yeah. This was gonna be the actual main base. These ramps from vehicles. actually, I take that back. It may not be more complete. Definitely has, I know it has some factory buildings, so they're in here. Wait, no, I thought they were up and running. Okay, I guess we can stand on that. Yes, this works. This is how physics works. That's nothing. I think that's supposed to be some kind of stone. Why are there trucks everywhere? Did I just build through? Whatever. That's... Wait a minute. Hang on. It's a train spiral. Oh yeah, I built a I built this because then trains can ascend quickly if you have a spiral like that. I mean, obviously they're clipping like crazy through everything, but it does allow them to get to upper levels. This was gonna be pretty tall, so that was about to be useful. I thought this stuff was running actually, but I guess not. I don't actually know about the factory buildings, it might just be those. I do start a lot of these projects and often fail to finish. Do any of these actually go anywhere? Probably not. I guess I should play around with decoration. It's not the worst. Power storage. Yeah, this is pathetic. It's not even connected. Wait, some of it might actually have. Maybe. It's very empty. Now, having a jetpack building things this vertical is also kind of psychotic. Almost that I cannot imagine doing that now. It's anything though. What's in here? Do these bins have anything? Yes, you can just do that, and they do not. I think they were to receive items. Yeah, because this goes down. That was about out of farther. Yeah, also, I'd like to point out that this base was supposed to produce everything in the game when I was initially designing it. And I only have 2 rail lines going in, which doesn't sound that bad. But this is the kind of game where if you're actually optimizing your rail lines, you're going to probably have closer to 10 total ones in the entire game. Maybe even more, depending on how much you like trains. I guess this is part of the skyscraper part, which is truly kind of tall, but extremely empty. I guess this was the last thing to show up. Yeah, one funny factoid about this is that when I started building it, near the entrance area up there, there was a uranium node, deposit, I guess, technically, that I had to break. But, you know, I don't even have the radiation stuff yet, so I just had to tank the damage and then try to put it in an awesome state as fast as possible. But yeah, I was not sure what to do with that because that was my first actual encounter with radiation. I really did not make it far in my first couple saves. Yeah, this is basically it. I mean, there are probably other random machines around, like what is going on over there, but it's not very interesting. So let's move on to the next one. No, not the options. Load game. Saved. Down into Skipper. Yeah, 97 hours, about 100. So this one should be also interesting, hopefully. Oh, no, I remember this one. Yes, behold the what is this, third? Maybe fourth failed Megabase project? Although if I remember right, this one actually got farther than most. Not, you know, exterior-wise, because I had had experience failing to make megabases by this point, so I knew exactly what not to do. Although I didn't know exactly what not to do entirely, because I still tried to make a megabase. So, but through sheer levels of stubbornness, I still attempted defeat, and well, I guess it makes some things. Oh yeah, this is also about when I figure out how to build some round-ish shapes. It's not easy, because I did this without mods. There's a mod that lets you build curves and things really easily, which is super nice, but not this one. Well, not this one. Not the deep one. Yeah, this is another bigger curve section. Oh boy. Oh yeah, that was a warehouse too. Oh wait a minute, I remember what was up here. I'm just gonna build my way up. I don't really remember if there's a good way to get up other than going all the way through the inside. Which we can do later. Yeah, so I sort of refined my street signs a bit. Yes. So I have them at every intersection here. I was going to expand this more and build obviously just a port rip off aperture signs, but I forgot what it was going to actually do, if anything. Toiletries? I'm gonna have to follow some of these signs actually, because I don't really like Amazon. I think it's just a giant warehouse. Oh yeah, this was before dimensional depots. Those basically remove the need entirely, even in the game, for giant storage facilities like this. I didn't even have signs up. There's just nothing. Yes. Hello, creamy Gruyere. Good to have you. Yeah, this building is pretty pointless. Because I had not hooked it up to anything yet. I think I was still using storage in there. That's fine, now what toiletries is. If anything. Straight ahead. Oh, it's all the way down here. I guess. Is this just the main entrance? It's an entrance. I'm still not sure what that was supposed to mean. Oh yeah. No, I built this so early. It was... Okay, this is actually pretty cool. But it was all Mark 1 conveyor belts, so that's the max speed. Yeah, no. Over here... is a color controller. Oh, I feel like that's unfinished. This one is for somewhat advanced parts. Well, for early game, like reinforced iron plates and rotors. I was gonna put drone ports up there, but even though I measured out the foundations based on the dimensions of the drone port, even getting to drone ports would have been optimistic here. And my plan would have actually been to have most of the external things coming in through there, so like, you know, too much more stuff like that. And I already have most of the raw resources for this entire thing, or even all of them, coming in right through here. Oh, that's gross. I don't like this. What? I don't know what happened there. see what's up. I remember there being a storage facility up here. Yeah, okay, here it is. I like this one. I remember this one. Primary storage, tier 0 through tier 4. No signs once again. Although, no, okay, this is not what I was thinking it was. This storage room is just for buffer. The actual storage room you're supposed to access is even one floor higher. Motors, modular frames over there. Yeah, let's go high. I didn't realize there was actually a third floor of this, I forgot. But oh yeah, up near the top. This is actually pretty cool. I actually like this. It's so slow, but it is pretty easy to upgrade conveyor belts if I have one. Yeah, you guys have to select a lift technically, but I just it's still slow because it's feeding into a Mark 1. Okay, this is a better example. Maybe. At some point. But yeah, that one's still slow because it's feeding into a Mark 1 conveyor belt, so it's still kind of being limited. Yeah. Much faster. Things. And I believe actual storage that you're supposed to access is in this room. How do I get in there? Wait, it's not. I'm confused. Wait, it's going up through the storage room, down through there, up through there. What is going on? This fluid buffer is connected to nothing. It's just decoration. Also, so they go down through there, across the ceiling down there, on the floor here, and then up. I don't even know how to get into that room, really. I guess maybe through here? Yeah, I suppose. What? Why? Okay. Oh my god, I hate this. Is this some kind of distribution thing? Because this cannot be where they're supposed to. That is some clean conveyor belt work, though, actually. Holy, that's a lot of them, but that's kind of clean. Really not sure what that was all about. I think I was going to put trains there, never did. My objective is to build this space up. So let's do it. I don't even know what tier I'm on. I guess I could check pretty easily. At least 5, 6. That's... Oh, okay, that was gonna build some more stuff. More intersections. And yeah, I can confidently say that on this world, there is nothing else. I think there's a coal power plant where I know there's a coal power plant in the desert here, but that's it. And then apart from that, it's just pretty standard. Fun fact, there's actually a cap for fall damage in this game, and it's just below maximum health. So, because I'm full health, I can fall from any height and survive barely. But yeah, down here, I was gonna do more with this space. You know, I had a lot of plans. Most of them didn't end up happening. Ended up being a little overwhelming. But I think a lot of that was my fault anyway. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that's everything that's built in this world. In fact, even though I have the refinery unlocked, pretty sure. Yeah. I haven't done anything with those tiers yet, so I probably just completed the last milestone. Yeah, this is alright. Next one. Let's see. The warning sign here means it's modded, in case you're wondering. Okay. This one I like. So, how about... Alright. Hang on 1 second. I'm going to see something real quick. If I can get the right mods. These are not the right mods. Mods on. Oh yeah, profile. Here it is. Is it this one? Development? No. Okay, I think it is this one. Alright, I'm gonna try booting up Satisfactory with mods. And that save has my best, I think my best building I've ever built in this entire game. And I'm not even being hyperbolic, that's actually. And I didn't even get very far with the saves. All right. Yeah, not now. Don't update those. Load. This one. No. This one. Yeah. Yep. Wow. Oh boy. Wait, what? Hang on a second. Do I not have the profile? Right, hang on 1 second. Okay, I found it. Wonder beans. Yeah, okay, this is the one. My bad. So. I can show that off. And I did see one more that actually wasn't modded. I thought it was. You can check that out too. Alright. So, we're about to see the best building I've ever made in this game. Updates. No. Load. Yes, even though it's more hours actually than save I beat the game on, I didn't actually beat the game, partially because I installed mods specifically to make it harder. So I got pretty close. I was working on the tier 7 and 8 things. Oh. I'm radioactive. Everything's colorful. Hang on. Whoa. Whoa, chill out. Hang on a second. I actually have the hover pack here. Hey. This is the work in progress nuclear power plant, which is actually functional. It's okay, sorry. It's actually functional. It's just not technically finished. Drones supply with uranium, right? And where else? Okay, best building on the map. I'll change out my back equipment, not my hand equipment. Yeah, the best building on the map is, I think, just along these tracks. They may not actually be connected by rail. I don't know where it's going. But it's kind of where those coal power plants were. It's just it's not a coal power plant. You'll see. Hang on. In fact, we could probably start seeing it pretty soon. Yeah, I was building a... Oh yeah, you can see stuff on the map on this save. I forgot. You can actually see... that's why the textures haven't loaded in case you're wondering, is the map still has to buffer everything. It's working on it. I guess it's just a mod limitation because I built so much, but yeah, that's why the textures are the way they are. In fact... If I open I fixed it. Did it fix the map? It did. It's building stuff. Yeah, so I was building a nuclear pasta factory over here. These little boxes are foundations, the orange is machines, and the white and yellow things are conveyor belts and pipes. Green train tracks. Blue things here are power poles. Got a bunch of roads going through there. It's a nuclear power plant. No, this building though, so good. And this was turning out pretty cool too, though I didn't really quite finish it aesthetically. And then down here was, oh, that was also one of my best builds. Okay, oh, that was good too. Okay, this, never mind. The safe is my best aesthetics by far. It's not even close. I'm not gonna bother going over there because it has zero aesthetics. It's just a bunch of buildings in a row. But, boy. Yeah, these two are right next to each other too. You can see the spire off in the distance there. It's very faint and difficult to see, but it is technically visible. Giant spires, nice. That's the partially finished cool area. And that's the giant circular building going up there. Actually, what's closer at this point? We'll hit this first, actually. This is another sort of cyberpunk-inspired city. This game does lend itself very well to that aesthetic. Although it's definitely a different feeling than the last one I made. The last one was a lot like the game Cyberpunk 2077, but this one just diverged a little bit. I forget exactly how. It has been a while since I played this. Is Tyrion? Oh yeah, I have a jetpack. Keep forgetting. This thing does guzzle resources though, because it makes thermal propulsion rockets. It's a lot of buildings and conveyor belts. Ooh, shiny wall. Very nice. I actually did get trains working, so it's like the other Cyberpunk city, going back. It's like the other city, except your frame rate drops, and the trains are actually working. These are each, holy crap, it's like, alright, so these are each blueprints. And they're just stacked forever to copy paste production, basically. And being a mod, there are some interesting products. This, I could not get past the piping. There's lead being produced somewhere. I don't remember exactly where. And then in here there was a new machine. Doesn't really fit the style of the base game too well, but this batch reactor. I actually hate that thing so much, but it's part of the base burner, so I guess it works because it makes things more fun to do. Here we got blenders making thermal floating rockets. These are turbo motors that are just out of the dead for some reason. Oh wait, no, that's intentional. That's just the variable. Yeah. I didn't completely visually. Actually, even less than I remember. Oh yeah, this was one cool part I did over here. This might be part of why the frame rate is so bad. This wall. I really like it and I put it in both places, but I think it's contributing to it. Got roads down here. Sub-building roadways, parking garage interior. Pretty nice. Yeah, I need a lot more work to especially over here. I was able to actually build around this cool rock formation. What does the sun say over here? These are clearly frames need more silver. Okay. I think maybe I ran out of silver deposits on the map using alternate recipes. I didn't really realize it. I think that's right. Also, one of the mods I have is a ticket counter in the upper left. I have 900 tickets right now, and I've already purchased everything too. I'm not just saying that to exaggerate. I'm saying that that's the kind of production levels I've been using in this particular setting. Alright, we can see the really cool building now. Yeah, here's some silver. Okay. It's just not a good view yet. We have to get closer. You can see it really well from the desert itself. That's going to that building. But that's where we're headed next. I've been teasing this so long. Oh boy. It reminds me, if you ever played or watched someone play Horizon Forbidden West, this kind of feels like the Far Zenith stuff to me. This is my favorite building I've ever made, and it's not even close. Also, these, because of them mod, are actual solar panels, and they actually produce a lot of power. I mean, the roundness, this is the mod roundness in action right now. I mean, whoa, saving. It's not very full. The curved edges are actually pretty difficult to build on. Oh, and garage doors. Those should be in the base game. I think. These were not done. The interior was not done. Elevators. This one's not working. Guess I'll use the conveniently placed holes. Assembly. Yeah, this was going to be the electronics factory. Even though it doesn't look like there are a lot of buildings in it, just you wait, because there's an upstairs and this feels like the main level and it's kind of meant to be. But oh boy, is there a basement. You know, here, sewer access. I was going to make it look like a sewer. I even gave it, well, that's kind of awkward. I even gave it this giant pipe. Oh, muddy swamp water. Okay. Alright, from the factory props mod lets you build foliage and things. The actual buildings down here. Here are some of them. I have the conveyor belts running along the wall. Bunch of pipes for liquid. This is the main production area over here. It's producing computers, I believe. Yeah, lots of computers. Way too many computers. And then in here, you know, I may have actually had it produce assembly director systems, just not upstairs. Though, I think depth control units, which go into something. Radio control units, crystal oscillators, more resources just being funneled. This is a more efficient layer. It doesn't look like it because not everything's moving all the time. But this type of setup is far more efficient than what we've seen on some power saves where it just things fills up and backs up and part of it is this. Overflow splitters that are just taking the excess of everything, combining it, and putting it in different units. About 20 million points per minute. Most of which I think are from propulsion rockets from that other factory. And yeah, honestly, the production of this one isn't crazy or anything. This factory. But it does look pretty nice. Pipes are a little organized in this room. Then you get to another room and not. I mean, you can see how it could be built out in some places and make it organized. I just, you know, once you finish a difficult to build factory like that, it's just difficult to plan and make, and you get all the buildings working, and then suddenly you're just producing the product. Suddenly there's just no desire to make it good anymore because it's. Especially if it's already hidden like this. Okay, so we're gonna be farms. I am actually kind of happy with pipes under metal grate aesthetic. That's pretty cool. These aren't connected, I guess, but there's water right there. So if I put a water extractor, just pumped it up through here, then we set. The water and power, I believe, are the only things these farms need. So. Wait, complete phase 4 on the upper right. I haven't even done that. I think I... Hang on. Okay, I have enough thermal propulsion rockets just sitting in a dimensional depot. I could just do that, I guess. But... yeah, I mean, it's nice. It kind of drops the frame rate a bit, but it's nice. One last major thing to show off, and this one is pretty much entirely aesthetics based and almost not at all factory based. Again, it's unfinished technically, but I kind of design these projects to be indefinite on purpose sometimes, and this is one of those cases. Yeah, I mean, you can see the conveyor belt of garbage that has to exist to take all the resources there. What's the power provision? Oh no. Good thing you can load old states. Oh yeah, glitched water in here again. I guess there's something wrong maybe with the hot spring water. I'm swimming. Weird. Yes. I did actually kind of harvest all of the water sources. There are also dams you can build. with the power mod that adds solar panels, and they're really cool. That was a short one. There are specific points. It's not the kind of thing you can put anywhere along the river. There are dam nodes, I guess, if I bring this up. They're all the regular resources. There are weird things like jar there, and there's water dam node and other stuff. Oops. Okay. This one's a bit fun. Is there anything else? If it were done, this part would probably be my favorite looking building, which would technically count as a factory, but it's definitely not done. I think you can get to it through here, maybe. Oh, that's a cave. I'm not doing that. And then yeah, I'm pretty sure I can get there through here. This biome is kind of fun to build in because of the elevation changes everywhere. Alright, this isn't a tall structure or anything, it's more of a planned city type structure. I was gonna have different company headquarters and different styles here. That's a not finished version of the headquarters for that one round building I showed off. These are just facades, but they look pretty cool. The roads, I mean, yeah, it's very work in progress. It's not close to being finished or anything, but, and that's not supposed to stay. None of that is. But just the concept, I mean, coming down through this valley and basically having a massive city all around you like this just feels really cool. Let's see. Motors, got it. Coming back to these is fun though, because I don't honestly remember basically any of it. So it's just they just make hissing noises because they can't, because they take such a short amount of time to construct. Alright, Mark II machines, Mark III machines, 112 concrete, 225 ultimately, that thing? Dang. Right. Yeah, we go over here though. Okay, there are some kind of cooler areas. The ceiling in here is a little whack, but I think it kind of fits in anyway. And then over here, yeah, another thing I was going to do is actually build basic walls, which is what those facades were, around the edges, because this is a giant crater. And if you just build facades around the edges, it makes it look like a solid city. The entire city was dug out in a pit like this, which I think is pretty cool. So, I think this one was done poorly and sort of halfway stuff clipping through. But that's the idea. And then would be the second part. Your power. Oh my goodness, don't tell me. I'm probably gonna have to reload if I want to play on this more, because power fluctuations from before meant that I think my nuclear power plant was filling up with waste, which means the processing wasn't working. And Yeah, that's not good. It's probably not going to. It may not get a lot worse. But yeah, why is power storage draining? It's not one of the needles. Do I have anything else? Is there? Oh yeah. There was the nuclear garbage plan that's specifically designed because I tried to automate literally everything, which included things that are completely useless to automate, like empty packages. There's no reason for the player to have an empty package, really. But I automated them here. I think empty. Hang on, empty container maybe. Oops, I cannot spell. My brain is fried. No, I do have empty fluid tanks, which are equally useless. Yeah, this was another sort of. All of these are sort of 50% buildings, I guess. Okay, this was one of my this was my last save, I guess, and I did get better at building dense factories without clipping anything. Really, I mean, some stuff is. You probably don't have to look too long to find something weirdly. I did try to avoid it in general. Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst, but it's not the best either. Yeah, so these nuclear power plants are here for the production of certain items. Because this power plant doesn't produce normal things. These dimensional depots uploaded to my inventory. And that's why we have things like just a bit uranium products in here. Non-fissile uranium, enriched uranium, regular uranium, uranium waste, uranium fuel rods are all completely useless to the player character in any way, shape, or form. Uranium fuel rods are just being put in the character, but that's about it. Oh, I believe we also have some fun stuff. Uranium waste, uranium fuel rod. There it is. So yes, the sole purpose of these reactors is to just make waste, basically. And then there's this whole complicated processing setup that takes uranium waste from some of the reactors. We process it into some of the plutonium things, which then are put into plutonium waste, but I also need some of the uranium things, so it's all split off at different points. Oof, that becomes kind of heavy, but that's actually one of the factors I got to work at low capacity, even though the aesthetics are not done. This over here is actually the start area. I did start here. And one thing I think is important to note about this mod save is that one of the mods I have randomizes all the resource nodes. So while you normally just find stuff like iron and copper over here, there was an oil node. There are a lot of sand nodes as well. I think this one's, yeah, just copper. There's some weird ones. Also thorium. Yeah, okay, that building's great. Fusion does exist, but it's really buggy the way it works. Or rather, it doesn't. I mean, I tried to do it, but for some reason the thorium miners keep breaking. You'll place it, a miner down on a thorium node, and it'll start working like normal. And then, for some reason, when you reload the save, it'll just sometimes stop, but it's only about a 50% chance. And sometimes loading the save again will cause it to work again. Replacing it will always work, but imagine if every time you loaded your save, you had to replace all of your thorium miners, and you had, 5 of them across the map or something. That's just not feasible. So I decided to go the more traditional route of just building a giant fission power plant. So that was fun. Oh yeah, one of the mods also has all the power stuff is it's pretty well known power mod. I'm forgetting what it's called now though. There's nothing in there. Refined power, yes, refined power. That has all this cool stuff in it. Solar panel Mark 3, which is what's on that one building. It's also Mark II 1. And the mirrors for the solar power tower. This thing is actually terrible for how many resources it consumes. The balancing must be off or something, because it's not even close to anything else here. Solar panel Mark 1 is convenient because on a regular foundation you can fit 4 of them exactly. And they even snap. Yeah. Hard to see, but yeah. It's pretty convenient. And these concrete foundations kind of have quarters, so they line up with the edges there. Yeah, as for builds, I think that's about it for this save. Maybe all of them. Oh, there was one more save that where's was it? It was this one. Maybe I can load it with mods. That might break. I don't care about it really breaking the factories, actually. I'll just load to a save without mods. If it does decide to auto save. This one was also pretty architecture heavy. Will it load? It did. Oh, wait for the world to load. I believe that would be the resource randomizer mod doing something. What? Oh yeah. That. Yeah, I was playing with someone else and we were kind of. Anyway. Built an Illuminati temple thing. I don't think it has any buildings in it. With the check, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, nothing. I was gonna put aluminum stuff in it, but it ended up having a much smaller internal area than I planned for. Let's see, what else will be on the map? We'll show stuff. Oh yes, over here is... I'm not sure. But I will check it out. Also, I think this is the save where I made a blueprint for a tileable mine tower thing, so you could basically just place it over a miner on a resource bed, and it would just add refinement. So instead of using a pure recipe or something like that and optimizing the amount per resource, because I realized I was never really using all the resources on the map anyway, I didn't need to optimize that. So instead, I started just putting smelters together, building towers. I think this is that save. Hey, yeah. A bit odd from a distance. I do wish I had some faster travel. It is a bit boring having to sit through this, I'd imagine. This may have made a better video, now that I think about it. But yes, these mine towers. And then I think, just make sure, I don't think there's anything else on the map really worth visiting. What was that? Oh, yeah, that's... I think there's more flat foundations with nothing on them. That was the main base. Wait, where's the hub? Okay, I think I could die and get near there, so it would save some time once we look at these towers. Yeah, the hub's back there. But these are cool because each layer has 2 smelters, which is 60 per minute, or tank that's just straight up directly. Also RG. No, they don't need pipes, but it looks cool. So, yeah, liner with a freehand thing. This is just you place it over it. It doesn't snap or anything. You just kind of line it up. Then, try to go with the blueprint. Let's see. There are usually powers of 2 on these because, 60 per minute per layer. And then the resources are also in multiples of 60. But it's 120 here. Wait, actually, this one doesn't make sense. This is only 120 per minute. And each of these is 60 per minute because of 2 of these. But the math ain't math. But the whole tower is full. What's going on with this? I'm actually confused. 20 per minute. Under Mark 2. Do I have Mark 3 on it? No? In here? Oh, no, wait, I'm an idiot. These are iron ingots. This is copper. It randomized the resource nodes. Which is, it does mean I'm going to have to reload an old save if I want to play on it again, because the randomizer mod kind of messed everything up. Also, I'd imagine it, because a lot of recipes changed with the mod that made it harder. That would be different too. A lot of mine tower stuff. Oh well, time to launch myself off the top of the see where I end up. That's probably fine. Alright.
Can you imagine where you'd be without me? Let me give you a hint. Still dead.
Indeed. Okay, so it was the Senate Plaza area. Alright. This is the closest thing to a purely recreational area, I think, I've ever worked on in this game. Unity Plaza. Oh yeah. It's a park. Radio tower. It's actually kind of cool. And then we have, this entrance to the top. Could certainly use some work, but it ain't too bad. There's this stuff up here on the statue. We use the factory props mod again, which basically just lets you build anything that the game has as a 3D model. Ah, yes. FS. This was, when I was playing with someone else in this world, I forget what FS Industries was supposed to be. Cool logo though, and they also sort of have the little environments in there. And here we have excellent. Oh yes, this was one, and then I used a different rock material. Sea rock and different statues. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, I remember that. It was multiple companies. There was a main base. It's just a little this way. Also, the yellow icons. Yes, it's a bug. No, I don't know how to fix it. No, I don't think anyone else knows how to. Oh yeah, I can blow your mind. I think. See these giant arches? These particular giant arches, you can dismantle because we placed them. They're buildables with that factory props mod. I wasn't really exaggerating when I said anything with the 3D model was placeable with the factory props mod. It pretty much is that look and that free. However, oh yeah, we were building this giant sort of dividing wall. No reason to do so other than might have been cool. Didn't finish it. Didn't even get halfway actually. Almost made it halfway. Different colors for the different companies. That's how we divided the maps, and that's how we determined what the gardens were in the company plazas, just based on the biomes found in the company's, I guess, territory. Alright, main base though, come on through. I don't know nothing. Yeah, I believe this will, okay, so I believe this will actually be the last building in the entirety of the 6 years, apart from one modded save that was just Satisfactory Plus that I was playing. If you're not familiar with it, it's kind of a mod that makes it harder, go figure, except a lot harder. The ones I have on this mod set make it harder, but not by a whole. Satisfactory Plus is a different kind of level. It's not just a different level; it's a different kind of level. It kind of changes the entire progression of the game, so you can't rely on what. I think it also does randomized nodes. If not, it does at least add a bunch. But anyway, we are here. Right, Hyper 2. One-way entrance Hyper 2. There's this radio station here on the hill. The storage room. Very nice logo. That. Right, it's meant to look like a portal. It doesn't really. It's a Hyper 2. If you go through this side, it's just like a Minecraft painting. And yes, you face plant on the screen there. Okay. How do I use these? I forget. Is it? Do I have to? Okay, I don't know how to use those. I think maybe they're broken right now. Oh shit, just went away. Right, the big beautiful board of automation that I never even killed one thing out on. This is where the hub was. Forget why. This was very work in progress. I'm not sure why there's a train station there. This was going to be the space bar, I do remember that. And it was going to have the space elevator in it. Somewhere. Yeah, playing around with these pillars. I can't imagine this is wonderful for performance. Having all of these little pillars making up buildings like that. But they do look cool. What? How did I not see this? Yeah, I don't know what was going to be in there. Just a building. Kind of looks weird. The top is kind of a tent at the top there. Alright, double check, make sure there's nothing else. Right, that's the pyramid, this is just various mining stuff. Okay, that's just another compact oil factory thing. Same with that, nothing interesting. Oh, that's the wall, you can actually see it from here. Not sure why it's doing that, but we're gonna kind of divide it along there. And it didn't even make it halfway. It's maybe about a third to a quarter. Anyway, that would be a full summary more or less of every single thing I built in Satisfactory. At least it's worth showing off. This is damn cool. Stand too. I do like this this tree. It serves no actual purpose, but if you build a HDR that is freaking out. But if you build over a waterfall like this, then you can actually make a hydroelectric station, even if it does not actually have any practical purpose. It just kind of adds some extra industrialization in the world. Yep, I think that's about it though. Thank you everyone for sticking around, watching. It was fun showing that stuff off. And I would definitely be open to, you know, playing more Satisfactory, starting another save even, or whatever, if people did want to see that. The current plan is to be streaming a lot of Silksong, because I've gotten into speedrunning that, and I would also like to stream some true Steel Soul 100%. Maybe even true 100% true Steel hard for that game. So stay tuned for that. Again, maybe some like community post. I don't have a great update for scheduling. It might be the kind of thing I just do whenever. Probably never before 6 p.m. Pacific time, but we shall see. I think I will try to come up with a good consistent schedule. I'll probably have one in about 2 or 3 weeks, but yeah, in the meantime, it will just be kind of sporadic. Alright, well, thank you for watching. Have a great night. I will see you next time I stream. Or next time I make a video. Bye-bye.